Hi guys, so this is some pretty big news. A sitting Conservative MP has defected to Reform UK, a guy called Danny Kruger. Now we've already seen people like Nadine Dorries or Andrea Jenkyns defect to Reform, but they were either MPs who had lost their seat or had not run again. And then in the case of Lee Anderson, he had become an independent and then in a sense defected to Reform. But this is the first time a sitting MP has defected, which of course is embarrassing for the Conservatives and in particular for their leader. Now both he, Danny Kruger, and Nigel Farage were asked about this by Sky News. Have a listen.
I was going to say, it sounds like you think the Conservative Party is dead and finished for good. And is that true? But I think we know that already. In terms of your other colleagues, you still have high regard for a lot of them. Do you expect any more of them to come over? Are there more conversations going on? And Mr Farage, if I could get your response to the scenes that we saw over the weekend, the marches, the presence of Tommy Robinson, and in particular, the comments of Elon Musk, fight or die. What do you make of all of that?
So on the first question, I don't think the Conservative Party is dead. I just think it's over as the principal opposition and the principal vehicle of conservatism, the sort of conservatism that I believe in. And I think in reality, it is very unlikely that they're going to recover significantly or soon. And my personal view is ever. So I'm not predicting that there will never be Conservative Party or Conservative MPs. I would hope that colleagues who share my view about the crisis that the country is in and the opportunity that reform offers to save our country at the next election will follow me. In terms of what conversations are underway, I have absolutely no idea, and that's best left to the leader. Nigel, are there other conversations underway?
Thank you. It's very kind of you. But of course, we keep everything under wraps. I mean, when we have negotiations with people, nothing leaks. None of you had a clue that Danny would be joining us today, and that's how we operate, and that's very much how I operate. A quick thought on the Conservative Party. Whether it is the parrot in the Monty Python sketch, I don't know. What I do know is this Conservative Party has zero chance of winning the next general election. Literally zero chance, but Reform genuinely does. And we've led, as I said earlier, for over 100 opinion polls.
Okay, before we continue and he answers the question about Elon Musk, I think it's important to remember that this is extremely damaging to the Conservative Party. It was pretty bad when you had ex-MPs, but then you could say, look, these are people who had lost their seat. They had nothing to lose by defecting to Reform, and they're not running again as MPs. But to have a sitting Conservative defect to Reform, it's extremely embarrassing for Kemi Badenoch. And I think you were going to hear more calls on her to resign. Now, it's going to be interesting to see who else defects. Are we going to see more ex-MPs? Are we going to see more sitting MPs? And I think the top of the list would, of course, be Suella Braverman. Suella Braverman, who wanted to be leader of the Conservative Party, failed in that attempt. Her politics align much more with Reform than pretty much the Conservative Party at this stage. So I wouldn't put money on it, but I'd certainly be looking towards her for the next defection. Now, let's get back to the video.
As for Saturday, I think the vast majority of people that turned up were good, ordinary, decent people who are very, very concerned about what's happening in this country. I've noticed that the wave of flags that started about 3 weeks ago, going up around the country, far from subsiding, from what I could see this weekend, it's accelerating massively. And it is a collective, two fingers up to a British establishment that they feel utterly betrayed by in every single way. So I fully understand why people would go and march. The comments of Elon Musk you asked me about. Well, Elon and I have a relationship. Wouldn't say a very good one. He's generally rather rude about me, even though I do admire him in many ways. It would be nice to get some clarification of what fight meant in that context. And I'll link it back to something that Danny said earlier. We are radical, but we're not revolutionaries. If the fight that Musk was talking about was about standing up for our rights of free speech, if it was about fighting in elections to overcome the established parties, then that absolutely is the fight that we're in.
Okay, I've said before that Nigel Farage will not join something with Tommy Robinson because you can't have two captains in one ship. And he doesn't want to be involved in something that he doesn't have control over or something that he can't take advantage of. So the people who were marching last Saturday, these are people that some of them would be critical of Nigel Farage. They would see reform as betraying the far right. So I think this is one of the reasons why Nigel Farage didn't get involved. And also the other reason is that he wants to present Reform UK not as a protest party, not as a party chasing the protest vote, but an actual alternative, as a real party. So I don't think we're going to see Nigel Farage leading any marches. He may attend some of them, like the farmers' ones, which are quite safe politically because there's no real cost to him, but he doesn't want to get involved in something that could be branded far right because he wants to distance himself. This is one of the reasons why he left UKIP, because he believed UKIP was becoming too far right. Members of UKIP, the leader of UKIP, was at the march on Saturday. So Farage doesn't want to be associated with that. He understands it's a lot of angry people. I can maybe tap into some of that anger. I can show that I'm in solidarity with some people at the march, but I don't want to be involved with the negative politics of it. So he's moved away from that, I believe. I could be wrong. We may see him lead marches arm in arm with Tommy Robinson, but I don't think that's going to happen at this stage. Maybe 10 years ago. So it's going to be let's get back to this main video, which is another defection. So this is going to be an embarrassment for the Conservatives. We may even see members of the Labour Party on the right, the blue Labour type people, the ones in the red wall. There are some Labour MPs who are extremely critical of the direction of the Labour Party, not on the left, but on the right, and they want to double down on immigration, they want to double down on stopping the boats, and we may even see some of these people defect to reform because they believe, probably, that they would hold on to their seat if they ran under a Reform UK flag. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think, and I'll see you in the next video.